Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Ian Saturday Night. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's actually my birthday later on when the sun rises. Technically it's my birthday now, but my phone's not ringing. So, once again, I'm entertaining myself and talking to you. Today was another slightly unusual day. I woke up and I kind of had a dream of, I don't know, I guess it was some kind of desire dream, but I was feeling paranoid just because a girl said hello to me, and I was like, why are you saying hello to me? Are you coming on to me? So I had kind of a romantic anxiety dream. So that was the first thing that happened. And the second thing that happened, I was trying to work on my application, and I forgot my password, and I couldn't log on to my work that I was doing, and I fouled up my application. It wouldn't take my information, so I was calling 3 different numbers, and it was a mess. And the other thing that happened, I was having breakfast, and I choked on a pineapple. That's hysterical. I was eating the pineapple, and I choked on the pineapple, which is unusual in itself. But the way I choked on the pineapple, it seemed like a surrealistic event. So, I guess I'm unusual. I find absurdity in the most mundane details of life. So I was working away on my application, and I got exhausted. So now I watched a suspense movie about 2 women who were in a relationship, and one turned out to be a serial killer. So that was suspenseful. It was called The Things That Keep You Alive. I recommend it. It was suspenseful and a little spooky, because when she went in the mode of a killer, she turned into a non-empathetic robot. So that's basically what happened, and I thought something unusual might happen, but really unusual, like a funny phone call from, and the other thing that happened is I got some ransomware. So that was pretty scary. Maybe people don't talk about it, but I actually got some ransomware, and that was pretty scary, I will say. What else happened? I don't know. I just tend to think that when I fall asleep into dreams, for that minute, for those minutes that I'm dreaming, it's absolutely real. So when the visitors come down, I'm talking about UFOs. If they come down, it must seem like a living dream, except it's absolutely real. And I believe in UFOs, as I told you many times during these episodes. But what they are and what their purpose is, that remains to be seen. I certainly don't know, and it's a little disturbing, but we're always disturbed by what we don't understand, and that's very human of us. I tend to think that my past romantic relationship was it was on the level of a supernatural occurrence, just because I felt so very visceral about the experience, more than I have ever felt in my life. So on that level, it definitely seems like a supernatural experience. and I'm still trying to cope with, I'm still trying to handle in my head, and out of expectation and desire and looking towards the future and all that, I'm still trying to cope with what happened. It's very, very difficult for me, and I'm sure it's difficult for the other person involved. I can say, I mean, I don't want to get too deeply on this because I'll start rambling, but I can say that I tried my very best, and even if I say I tried my very best, it doesn't seem to matter, because history, whatever I leave to history, history will have to be the judge. I have nothing to do with it. All I can do is try my best. I try not to hurt the other person, but because of the nature of the experience, I end up hurting the other person, and the other person ends up hurting me. So that's not so good. It's not so good about romantic relationships, but that's unavoidably what happens. One person gets hurt and the other person gets hurt. It's unavoidable. And that's the truth of what what my body's telling me, and what my mind is telling me, is you both end up getting hurt if it doesn't lead to marriage. And if it does lead to marriage, there's a good chance you end up getting hurt anyway. So I don't know what that means in terms of the longevity of the maturity of human experience. But all I can say is I try my best, and things happened in the relationship that I do not understand. They seem to rise out of the blue. Everything seemed to kind of rise out of the blue and go south without warning. But as much as I can fathom it, I tried my best, and you never know what can happen. But certain aspects of the relationship are very Hitchcockian, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I mean that in a good way, like Vertigo or something. Not like Psycho, but like Vertigo. So I mean that in a good way. I mean, it doesn't sound like I mean it in a good way, but I mean it in a good way. And it was very Hitchcockian in terms of the mystery of romance, and the kind of suspenseful distance that I felt. So I know it sounds strange, but I definitely see my last relationship in Hitchcockian terms. I don't know if the woman who was my girlfriend, if she thinks of herself as Kim Novak, but I guess maybe my future self will find out. But I definitely see romance in general, maybe in Hitchcockian terms, because my favorite composer is Bernard Herrmann. He was a great composer in movies. And later on, I'm going to catch a taxi to see the new Alien movie. I don't have high expectations, but we'll see what happens. Boy, I think tonight I covered all the bases. So I kind of went on a tangent, but at least now you know that I think all romance in general is Hitchcockian. And it's starting to rain. So thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching.